My name is Alan Clelland. I'm Vice President of the Board of Management of Pasadena Community Access Corporation and a 25-year resident of the city of Pasadena. PCAC is the parent body of Pasadena Media, which operates the city's community access television channels of KPAS and the Arroyo channel. I'm pleased to be the host of this, the 15th of Pasadena Media's monthly Pasadena On The Move podcasts, exploring mobility issues in the city of Pasadena. Our goal is to provide information to our community on current issues of interest, present new ideas, and take an occasional look at Pasadena's history and so how we got here. This month's episode previews an event being organized by Pasadena Village, focusing on travel options for seniors at the On The Go Expo to be held on November the 13th at Robinson Park Recreation Center. My guest today is Katie Brandon, Pasadena Village's Executive Director. Katie, welcome to the On The Move podcast.
Thank you, Alan. I'm so excited to be here.
Excellent. I've been looking forward to featuring Pasadena Village on our podcast, and the forthcoming On The Go Expo is just such a great opportunity to take. Could we please start our chat by you giving us a brief introduction to yourself and your role at Pasadena Village?
Thank you, Alan. So I'm Katie Brandon, and I am the Executive Director of Pasadena Village. We are a nonprofit organization that connects older adults who want to age in place in their own homes with each other and the amazing resources like transportation that are available in our community. And it is just wonderful to be here. I've worked in the nonprofit community in the Pasadena area for the last 15 plus years. And Pasadena Village has a very special place in my heart because I get to work with amazing older adult volunteers every day.
That's fascinating. You know, I said in the introduction, I've been living in Pasadena for 25 years. And I think it was only a few months ago I found out about Pasadena Village. So for the benefit of our audience, could you please give us a little history of the village? And explain its role in the community.
Thank you. Yes. So Pasadena Village really started with a group of residents who love living in Pasadena. They wanted to stay here, stay in their own homes as they got older, but they could see their peers aging in place and hitting some challenges, such as deciding not to drive anymore or thinking maybe it's time to not climb on a ladder and change a light bulb. So they thought about how can we address these challenges while staying in our own homes. And they looked at a couple different models and heard about the village movement. And the village movement started in Beacon Hill, Massachusetts, where the first peer-to-peer support network among older adults began. And so this group of residents from here went out to Massachusetts and said, this is great. And they brought it back to Pasadena and formed their own nonprofit organization officially in 2012. And it quickly caught on. So we had about 50 villagers who are people who've decided to be part of this intentional community while staying independent in their own homes. And as the years went on, it grew to 100, 130 villagers. And then obviously a pandemic really made a huge difference in the world and here in our community. And one of the things it did is it helped people realize how much isolation was not what they wanted. And our villagers continued to find connections and pivoted everything to online or phone calls. And so they were living their best life because they weren't going to miss a book club. They weren't going to miss opportunities to connect. And so we actually grew because of the pandemic, because of a little less stigma around isolation. And so people continued to join Pasadena Village because they were looking for those community connections. And now today we have 255 villagers who are part of our community, ranging from parts of Los Angeles and Glendale to Monrovia and Arcadia, from Altadena, La Cañada, and south to South Pasadena, San Marino, and San Gabriel. And about 60% of our villagers live in the city of Pasadena itself.
So you've got a strong community of relationships within the village itself, but establishing links and relationships outside of Pasadena Village within the communities.
Well, the idea is to keep people living in their own homes. So they're continuing to live in the place maybe where they raise their children, their grandchildren, the place where they've had careers and continue to explore their careers. But they're living where they want to live, but they're looking for community connections. We all need friends, and our friendships change as we age. We lose friends, they pass away, they move away, things happen. Our interests maybe don't align anymore, so you need to build new friendships and relationships. And Pasadena Village is one way they connect with new people.
You talk about wanting to stay in the same community, live in the same community. But of course, a topic currently on the minds of many of the residents of Pasadena are the fires that we had recently. How's the village responded since this awful event?
The Eden fire in our community was catastrophic. But fortunately, these community relationships our villagers had made were there for them in the middle of the night and ongoing since January 7th. So our villagers often were the first people to contact each other to let them know that a fire was coming down the hill.
Is that connectivity really working?
So texting, calling, knocking on each other's doors, offering to come, and many did come and evacuate together, leave their house, leave their condo, leave their ADU together to get into safety. And many, many different people offered to house each other temporarily. So we had over 20 different older adults being housed by over 20 other older adults in the last several months. And it has been unbelievable to see how those connections and that peer-to-peer support that they have forged themselves, not us telling them what they should do or who they should connect with, what the relationships the older adults have made has made such a difference in their recovery. I'm not saying it's easy. It's been incredibly challenging time. But our villagers have so much support because they have these relationships. And because we were able to share the stories of how reaching out to someone, even just to listen to them or offer them meals or resources or support, and eventually gift cards as we raise funding, we were able to share these stories. And Pasadena Village as an organization received amazingly generous funding from the community, from individuals across the United States, from that village network I was talking about, the 300 villages that are across the U.S. They donated, seeing us in crisis. And then foundations, including Fire Aid and Pasadena Community Foundation, supported Pasadena Village so we could get the funding directly to the older adult residents who were most impacted, our lower income older adults, our Altadena residents, the people who lost homes, those have been displaced for many, many months. And that outpouring has been amazing, and it's also shown how important those community connections are, and how funders know that you need to know who you're serving, and we do.
Yes, I mean, it's one thing to have a third party willing to donate funds, but they want to be sure that they're donating the funds to an organization and can really make use of them. And you mentioned several different ways that you did that, and some of them actually not concrete, but physical things to help.
Physical things. I think knowing the older adults who live in Altadena and Pasadena, we knew who might have more trouble getting around, or who had family nearby and who didn't. And we also had a cadre of amazing volunteer drivers who, before the fires and currently, offer rides to each other. And because we had those drivers, vetted volunteer drivers on call, we were able to activate them to pick up relief supplies and things people needed and get them directly to where our older adults were sheltering. So whether it was at the emergency shelter, at a friend's house, at a hotel, at their children's home, we could get the supplies, what they needed, immediately to them because we had this amazing cadre of volunteer drivers who are mostly villagers themselves.
That's incredible. And that's a great introduction to the expo, the Transportation Expo.
Yes.
Was this a new activity area for the village, the transportation and mobility side?
So Pasadena Village helps people aging in place in their own homes. But in order to age in place well, you need to be able to get what you need. And so we've always had an initiative related to transportation Like I mentioned, these vetted volunteer drivers offer rides to our villagers so that they can get to medical appointments, grocery shopping, their friends' homes, or village events. There's so many village events on our calendar. So social events where they can make relationships with each other. And so our drivers would give rides to villagers before the fire and continue to do so today. But with the increased need with the fire and the increased capacity because of the generous funding, we have been able to really expand our transportation initiative to support more people, especially those who lost vehicles in the fire, those who have moved to a new neighborhood and don't know the public transportation options as well as they did in the neighborhood they lived for 30, 40, 50 years. So we're able to help everyone to connect with different types of transportation options, including requesting rides from the village through these vetted volunteer drivers. And we were able to purchase a van for the very first time and hire a part-time driver on staff. So we ask our vetted volunteer drivers first, can you give a ride to this person? But sometimes the request is last minute or we can't fill it. Because a lot of our villagers love going hiking on Friday mornings, and the request is on Friday mornings.
So it's very day of the week depend.
Yeah, so it does, but we want to make sure no matter what you want to do, you should be able to get to where you need to go. So with this driver on staff, we're able to expand what we can offer to help older adults remain independent.
That's amazing that you go beyond your Pasadena Village community with these transportation modes and out into a much broader community, potentially.
Definitely. And anything related to relief or recovery, these events people are having for their neighborhood groups in Altadena, our partners who are having wonderful dinners and events. We're hearing, especially now as the time just changed, Alan, a lot of people don't like to drive at night.
Oh, yes.
And so they're saying, I've been going to this monthly meal at my church, and it's been great for my recovery and my mental health and connections. But now it's going to be darker earlier, and I'm not going to go anymore. Well, we're hoping that we can find those people so we can help them get a ride so they can continue to make those strong connections with their, like for that example, their church community, but also with their family members, with the village community,
right.
The other events that are happening all across Altadena and Pasadena. We want them to get to where they need to go so they can make those connections.
And it's also has a focus as well, and has information is very valuable for the older drivers. You mentioned driving at night's difficult, yeah?
Yeah.
Is there a place where non-villagers would go to be able to get information on these types of services?
So we have a wonderful, robust website called PasadenaVillage.org that has information about Pasadena Village and the amazing free community events we offer to the public, as well as this offer of transportation to people trying to access relief and recovery events and resources. We also have a free resource website called agingsgv.org, SGV for San Gabriel Valley.
A-G-I-N-G.
Yes, Aging SGV. And it has articles written for and by older adults on a whole range of topics, including transportation, as well as recordings from educational programs we've had over the years, links to different resources that you might not be aware of. And those resources are what we're going to really show at the On The Go Expo. So we're really hoping that people will join us at the On The Go Expo so they can meet the representatives from all these different transportation solution options.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm so pleased that it's about time that we had On The Move, pointing people towards the Aging SGV
Yes.
website. Yeah. And that brings us to the On The Go Expo itself. So, is this a one-off? I mean, it's the first time you've done anything like this. So I got the feeling that maybe it isn't, given the background that you give.
So the On The Go Expo is having its inaugural launch on November 13th. But as an organization, Pasadena Village has been doing resource fairs related to aging topics for the last 4 years.
Oh.
In conjunction with the city of Pasadena, Pasadena celebrates Older Americans Month every May, and it has been an amazing initiative that has grown year after year in collaboration with the City of Pasadena Parks and Recreation Department and the City of Pasadena Senior Commission, where I serve on the Senior Commission for the city. I really enjoy my service there. So we collaborate together, Pasadena Village and these civic entities, to get people together at the park to connect with over 50 exhibitors, all related to aging, health, housing, different things. So we've had a lot of experience putting on resource fairs, but the event coming up in November is just focused on getting what you need and getting to where you need to go.
And this is the first one focused on transportation.
First one focused on transportation. We're very excited.
Very excited.
And, the need for transportation is really exacerbated by the fire. It wasn't ever, we're not the most transit-centered city here in Pasadena. And it's only gotten worse with the fires. And so, like I alluded to, people have lost vehicles in the fire. People have made hard choices about deciding maybe now's the time to stop driving or to limit their driving. And these medical issues and other mobility issues don't stop because there was a disaster in our community.
Well, and you still have to go out and get
groceries. Groceries and prescriptions and get your dog to the vet, right?
Yeah.
So we're really hoping that this fair gives you some options. So you can use Metro Micro. So you can try a rideshare service like Uber or Lyft. So you could think about getting things delivered to you, like a grocery box, for example.
Yes, these new delivery services that are coming through.
And there's many. A lot of the grocery stores will either deliver to you or even pull up and load the groceries in your trunk. That might just help a little bit with what you need.
Oh.
So we're really trying to encourage people, think of these different options on getting pet care that comes to your home, getting your prescriptions delivered to you, whatever things that you think you need to get in the car to drive across town to get to. There might be a different way of thinking about it. So it's not just about replacing getting in the car. It's thinking differently about what we need and how we can get it. So I'm really excited about On The Go Expo because I've learned a lot about Metro and how it works, about Pasadena Dial-A-Ride, and about the different options that we can all use a little bit more. And one really exciting one, Alan, is we're going to have an e-bike demo with Active SGV. So one of our nonprofit partners.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Is really promoting use of e-bikes. And so we'll be there at Robinson Park on Thursday. And I hope that you'll join me in trying the e-bikes.
E-bikes out
in the parking lot. We'll wear a helmet. and we'll try an e-bike and with a nice cargo basket. And you never know, that might be something somebody's really didn't know they were looking for.
Exactly. And, you can gain a lot of information on the web, on the internet, but that's one of the beauties of something like the expo. There's things there physically for you to see and understand. And in the case of the e-bikes,
you'll get to try an e-bike. You can board the Metro Micro van. You can board the Dial-A-Ride bus. Give it a little try so that when it does come and pick you up at your neighborhood stop, it won't be all new to you.
Excellent.
Hopefully it'll be a little less scary to try a different kind of transportation that you may never have been exposed to.
Thought of. Mm-hmm. And then find about, if you are interested in e-bikes, for example, there's ways you can rent one.
You can rent one
in the San Gabriel Valley, and for a very low price, so you can see whether it really does fit your day-to-day needs. You can find out about that, presumably there as well.
Definitely, and I think talking about that, there's discounted ways and some free offerings that are available, especially for those of us that were impacted by the Eaton fire. Right. Metro has this amazing program called Metro Life, which is usually an income-qualified program.
Oh.
It offers free and reduced rides on Metro. And at our fair, you'll be able to sign up for Metro Life and get into the program for free and be able to access these free and reduced rides on the Metro for life. And that's just an amazing opportunity I don't think anyone knows about in our community. So we want them to come on November 13th, sign up for Metro Life, and get these great discounts on public transportation. Why not?
That is stunning. So Metro Life, eh?
Yes.
Which is a low-income program. So that's not going to be the only thing there. You talked about the e-bikes and now Metro Life.
Metro Life.
What else can you expect to see if I turn up? When I turn up, what could I expect to see and discover there at the
All right,
expo?
Alan, so next week you're going to show up and there are going to be these vehicles parked outside outside the Robinson Park Recreation Center, where you'll be able to board the buses and the vehicles that are usually offered on public streets, and then connect with over 22 exhibitors, which are different businesses and nonprofits that represent solutions, transportation solutions. So you'll be able to walk around and engage with the owners, representatives, and employees and volunteers of these different organizations. So you can really get a feel for the amazing array of offerings that they have for our community related to transportation. And then if you're interested in trying Metro Micro for the first time, or trying a rideshare app, or exploring how to find the bus schedules on your phone, we'll have a tech cafe where we have wonderful patient volunteers in English and Spanish offer one-on-one help for you to download apps, access these transit schedules, sign up for a senior tap card or the Metro Life program or some of the other offerings that you'll learn about at the expo, and you can do it right then. So people will walk away not just with the information they've learned, but hopefully a little more savviness on their smartphone, and then a resource bag, a free resource bag for the first 300 attendees that has more information from our resource partners and information on transportation in this wonderful space.
That's invaluable. So instead of, in addition to hearing about and finding out about an app, they'll help you, the IT,
download it, get an account,
get it going. And how do you use it so you become comfortable with it from the get-go instead of having to spend a lot of your own time trying to figure out, how do I do this?
Yes, we're very excited about that. Yeah, so that tech help is something we actually offer once a month at the village, at Pasadena Village. We call it IT Cafe, and it's usually on Saturdays, but we thought it was such an instrumental part of having people connect to transportation, we integrated it this time into the On The Go Expo.
Talking about technology, not just on your phone, but there's new technology in cars as well.
Yes.
But not just new technology, there's things that you can add to your car to make it more comfortable for you to drive.
That's right.
Yeah. Will there be any aspects of that?
One of our partners is Mobility Works. And what they do is they help modify personal vehicles to make it easier to use or able to use by people of all different abilities. So I'm very excited to see what they have to offer in modifying your personal vehicle, say for someone who has prosthetic limbs, or it'd be easier for them to use hand controls rather than feet control, things like that. So Mobility Works is a wonderful local company that's going to exhibit at the fair as well.
Excellent. Are they a Pasadena company?
Oh, yes. Pasadena company. Yeah. Mobility Works. Yes.
Excellent. Oh, that's tremendous.
You'll have to have them on your show, Alan.
Yes, we know that one. Yeah, and talk about what you can do to your car.
Yeah.
That is tremendous. So, you talked about the first 300 attendees getting a special bag. You've got 255 village members. So I get the impression this is not just for members of Pasadena Village. This is for the public.
Oh, definitely. This is definitely for the public. Everyone is welcome to join us at Robinson Recreation Center on November 13th. We hope everyone will come on out and see what resources are available. And Pasadena Village is a wonderful way of connecting with each other, but we understand it's not for everyone. And so we want to make sure that the offerings that we have are free and open to the public so everyone can come on out and see what resources are available in the community.
Excellent. Yeah. And can you just turn up?
Oh, yes. You can turn up at the park. You can register if you like.
You can register advanced, so you're going to be there.
Yeah, so go to PasadenaVillage.org and look for the Community Events tab. And you'll see the On The Go Expo, and you can register in that way. We know you're coming, and we can provide the public transportation options as well as parking information for when you arrive on Thursday.
Goodness me. That's tremendous. That's excellent. Okay, it sounds so comprehensive, this expo. Can't imagine, but is there, in closing, is there anything you'd like to add about the expo or Pasadena Village?
So Pasadena Village is a peer-to-peer organization. So I mentioned right as we started talking today, Alan, that I love working with our volunteers. And the village is truly volunteer run. All of our programs are initiated and planned by our villagers. So they get to decide what they want to do and how they want to connect with each other and what interests they have that they want to do with their peers. And so one of the fun initiatives they do is go on excursions in Pasadena, in downtown LA, and beyond. And so we have a lot of ways that you can go on adventure with fellow older adults and get to know them really well while you travel to the LA Opera or to a Noise Within Theater here in Pasadena. And I think that's really exciting because it also gives people a chance to try the metro, try public transportation options while they're still driving and before they might need to rely on it as their sole source of transportation.
That really is very important to be prepared for that moment, which is going to come to us all when we say we can't drive anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
We even use the Dial-A-Ride bus, and we call it the party bus. And we work with Dial-A-Ride to say, hey, let's meet on this Saturday and go to the farmer's market, where parking can be a little challenging sometimes. So we're all going to take the Dial-A-Ride bus across town and take it back again. And that way you are just a little more familiar and make sure you have your tap card balance loaded and you know how to get on the bus. And next time you might think, I might use that for my personal errands.
Yeah,
it's just a very exciting way.
You mentioned the farmer's market. I know how difficult it is on a Saturday, especially when there's events going on around the market as well in Victory Park. It can be very difficult.
It's a wonderful place to go, but next time you could try Metro Micro or Dial-A-Ride or some other public transportation option to get there.
Excellent. Well, Katie, thank you very, very much. Now, we mentioned a couple of websites to go to. The Aging SGV,
yes,
and also the Pasadena Village's own websites. And those websites addresses are coming up now.
Great.
On the screen, so people can make a note of them and be able to refer to them. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Katie, again. I'd also like to thank our audience for tuning in to this episode and encourage you to come again for future episodes of On the Move. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan.
Katie.